About North Korea, right? I faded out a little bit at some point.
In just a moment, we'll be hearing a statement from the Attractive Girls Union, which is still refusing to enter talks with Mike Greenman. For months now, the Attractive Girls Union has declined to negotiate with Mr. Greenman or even smile back at him when he smiles at them in a bar. Let's go live to that press conference now.
Girls Union has resolved to continue ignoring Mike Greenman and will remain firm on that stance until such a time as Mike starts dressing better or at least gets rid of that goatee. Although it is clear Mike is very eager to come to the bargaining table with us, at this juncture, we cannot negotiate with an individual who stares at us for half an hour before coming over to tell us he likes our shoes and then stands there awkwardly. I will now take your questions.
How do you respond to the new pants Mike Greenman is wearing today?
We have not noticed them. Next question.
Joining us now for analysis is arbitration expert Nick Goldiner.
Hello, Brandon.
Bad news here for Mr. Greenman today.
Yeah, it's a real disappointment. Mike has tried to initiate talks with the Attractive Girls Union hundreds of times at bookstores, bars, the grocery store, parties, on the street, at concerts, in elevators, once in a dentist's office, which is very awkward. But in most cases like this, he would have at least gotten a fake phone number by now. But clearly, these attractive girls are playing hardball here.
So they're not giving him anything, it seems.
They're not.
Well, there were reports last week Mr. Greenman was able to procure a brief parley with one union member at a Starbucks. Now, what was the result of that?
Well, Mr. Greenman inquired if anyone was sharing her table, and the official, whose sources say was, quote, hot enough to be a model, responded that she was pretty sure someone was sitting there. Right. She then went back to reading her book, effectively shutting the door on negotiations.
Oh, so at least there's some dialogue there. Could you talk us through the deal that Mr. Greenman is offering the Attractive Girls Union at this point?
Well, he's begun doing 5 to 6 push-ups per night and has announced plans to start jogging soon. That's in addition to what he's offered since the beginning of this standoff, namely being up for anything and a nice guy, unlike most of the douchebags the Attractive Girls Union repeatedly renews their contracts with.
But the union still refuses to budge.
That's right. If he were dealing with the slightly overweight, frizzy-haired girls union or the insecure, boots over jean girls union, it would be enough.
Sure.
But the Attractive Girls Union is very powerful, and they know they don't have to compromise here.
Nick, the Attractive Girls Union has just been asked to cite the specifics of what they're demanding of Mike Greenman before they'll talk with him. Let's go to that now.
But not pretentious. Additionally, he must guarantee conversation topics outside of video games, his job at Barnes & Noble, and the New York Giants, which is the full extent of what he currently offers. And he must also commit to a censure on laughing at his own jokes.
A hard bargain there. Mr. Goldiner, what's your take?
At this point, these demands are going to be impossible for Mike to meet. He has zero chance with the Attractive Girls Union, barring some unforeseen influx of money or if he joins a band.
Do you have any idea how long this standoff could last?
Well, it's been going on for Mike's entire life at this point, so there's really no reason to think it would change. He fucks up everything. Why does he even try?
Well, we'll all be watching to see what happens.
I have a three-part question. Yes. When you saw Mr. Greenman in the bar last week and you smiled and then he waved, you laughed, were those both at him?
I'm sorry?
Or were you looking at him when you smiled?
I don't remember.
Or were you smiling at someone else and laughed because you thought you were smiling at him when you waved?
I really don't remember.
Okay, second part. Why would you smile at him once and then not even react the next time he waved?
Okay, I don't know what the incident is that you're referring to. I don't remember. Any other questions regarding my smile or wave need to be directed towards my office.
With up-to-the-minute financial fallout shelter coverage of today's top story. The nation's girlfriends continue to press for an economic recovery plan they say could save the nation as much as $220 million annually if their boyfriends simply agreed to move in with them. Prominent girlfriends from across the country testified before Congress earlier today.
Our plan could dramatically cut expenditures for more than 1.2 million American couples who basically live together anyway, if you look at how much time they spend with each other.
There has been some criticism that you're pushing America's boyfriends, that it's not time for this type of situation.
Congressman Ingersoll, this is not even about wanting to live together. Even though a lot of us have been together with our boyfriends from anywhere between a year and 3 years, and everyone who knows us says we're the perfect couple. In a recession, it just doesn't make any sense for two people who say they love each other to pay separate rent.
Joining us now live from Washington is a spokeswoman for the nation's girlfriends, Kelly Ambrose. Welcome, Kelly.
Hello, Andrea.
Now, you and the other girlfriends have been very vocal about this plan in the past few days. Why the sudden push?
Andrea, the slogan of our movement is, it's time. This plan just makes sense for us financially.
But some boyfriends have said there are other ways to save money, like not going out for expensive dinners and extraneous brunches, or not taking that trip to Vermont to see the leaves change.
Yes, but in our plan, we don't have to make cuts. In fact,
I see.
We could even use some of the money we save on sports things or whatever boyfriends want.
Oh, well, but isn't there...
And our plan will also encourage consumer spending, since having new apartments would spur an anticipated 45% increase in dinner parties, cocktail parties, maybe even a Halloween party with fun drinks that have Halloween-related names.
Now, some boyfriends have been dragging their feet on this
That's
issue.
right. Do the nation's boyfriends want to sit there just watching our national debt grow and grow while their stupid roommate Chad hangs out in the living room playing video games 24 hours a day? So the boyfriend can never watch a movie, even if his girlfriend brings over a DVD that she has rented.
Okay, well, we have a boyfriend representative, Jake Larson, here with us to provide another perspective on this issue.
Hi, thank you.
Hi, honey.
Now, Jake, you're familiar with the girlfriend's plan, correct?
Yes, I've been briefed on it several times, and it's our contention that things are fine. This doesn't have to be a big deal.
But you have stated that the plan could, quote, tie the nation's boyfriends into long-term living arrangements that could inhibit future independence.
Right.
Do you mean like smothering? Is that how you think of this plan?
No, I never used that word.
But you did imply it.
It was in your tone, Jake.
Look, I really don't want to argue about this.
Okay, we're not arguing, Jake. We're just talking.
Well, can we discuss this another time, like tomorrow?
What's going to change between now and
Why
tomorrow,
would we talk
Jake?
about this tomorrow? We're already talking about this now.
Jake, if there's some reason you're opposed to this plan, you can say so, and nobody will be mad.
You know, I just feel like it's too soon.
Okay,
Fine.
fine then. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you.
Later in the hour, we'll talk to the nation's mothers about what this plan means for the possibility of them ever having grandchildren. Moving on, a study finds that most Americans' retirement plans consist of finding a briefcase of money.
Will there be any provisions made for game day during football season?
Yes, the girlfriends love football, and they can make snacks and dips and cookies for all the guys. It'll be fun.
Now, some of this research dates back to August 2006. Why had you begun planning a move the very same year many of the girls met their boyfriends?
That research was preliminary. It never hurts to be prepared.
But what about when John moved in with Tara, and then she dumped him, and he had to find a roommate on Craigslist?
That was a highly unusual situation, Congressman. Yes, Tara is my friend, but you know how she is.
And what is this about a waffle maker?
Come on, representatives of Congress. It is vital that you do something to incentivize the boyfriends to see that this is right for the nation. Because it is.
And what if the nation's economy turns around? Would we then consider having two places again?
Are you implying that the boyfriends would want to move out? Why would they want to do that when things are great and we are trying so hard to make them happy?
A lot of networks report the news as it happens, but only one has the power to report the news before it happens. Through our state-of-the-art wormhole satellite, the Onion News Network Future Channel brings you exclusive news transmissions from the year 2137. Because to stay ahead in today's world, you need to know what's going to happen in tomorrow's.
Way to make sure that when the machine is turned on, that we will all be atomized.
The Omega-12 project, originally presented by Little Congress in 2119 as a sweet solution to the problem of continual life on our wretched planet, was met originally with widespread popular approval. But today, citizens are expressing their frustration at Onion News Network feedback zones all over the place.
It's frustrating. Every day the government keeps saying, we're all going to die, we're all going to die, and then it not happens. If I could remove my obedience chip, I'd just kill myself.
I didn't care about the cost because I thought we'd all be dead. Now we're paying $1 million a week for this project and we're still alive. This is why I don't pay to vote.
I'm a little better off because at least I have this baby to sell. But I still want the world gone.
Today's delay is only the latest in a rope of problems that have plagued the Omega-12 project since its fucking inception. Meanwhile, criticalism is piling up near President Performance H. Wilson, who was voted into office for his 6th term primarily because he promised to kill us all.
You don't need a bunch of empty promises! You need to die! Do you want to die? I can't hear you! Do you want to die?
President Wilson's approval ratings have gone down steadily since that first delay, accepting a small price when he personally murdered 7,000 people with a hatchet. And government watchdog group Citizens for Leadership recently named Omega-12 as the worst managed government program, surpassing even the ill-fated Mississippi Fire Dam and the never-completed South Florida Relandification Program. So, to be continued waiting. For all the latest on the end of the world, keep looking at the Onion News Network. Till then, sustenance to you. News for real, a new poll finds most people wish dinosaurs were still extinct. Remain motionless to be informed. Multicultural battle zone. Violence reigned the Gaza Strip today as fighting broke out between the one remaining Palestinian and the one remaining Israeli. The struggle over the Gaza Strip, which began long before the burn down, has stolen the lives of more than 99% of the region's inhabitants. Here is what the news satellite showed us this morning. The violence began when the Israeli army Lev Rosen entered the Gaza Strip and began building a permachet on the disputed land. The Israeli was forced back over the border after suffering a sprained ankle and a bleeding nose at the hands of the Palestinian army Amjad ul-Rub. Even after the retreat, the Palestinian bombarded Israel with rocks and empty fire ray cartridges for near 2 hours. One Israeli soldier was injured in today's fight. At a press conference in front of the governmental hovel today, the Palestinian president condemned the Israelis' incursion. The Israeli responded by hollering right back at him.
אם הוא מתכוון לדפוק לי את האוהל, איך שם ויזיין לו את האוהל. אני לא אנהל משא ומתן עם טרוריסט.
We go now to Onion News Network war correspondent Vitamin Daniels, full live, just outside the battle zone. How do you, Vitamin?
What it is, Zesty, that we're celebrating in the street of Palestine following the successful defensive. But straight moments ago, the Israeli launched another attack and pushed the Palestinian to the edge of the Gaza Strip.
But Syria recently came out with a statement backing the Palestinian and refusing to acknowledge the existence of Rosen.
Yes, Syria has been a friend country for some time. The 6 Minutes War from last year pitted the entire nation of Syria against Rosen, but he beat them back with a broken bottle.
But after losing 66% of its troops to pneumonia last year, many people thought Israel was finally prepped to end the conflict.
Full truth. But even during the ceasefire, there has been sparring. Last week, an edible cat laundered into the disputed zone. Both men laid claim to it, resulting in a prolonged shouting match between the two sides. And today, Israel renewed its pledge to build a barrier between the two nations, a plan that has widespread support among the Israeli.
But the border wall, the border moat, the border plasmode, and the border photonic crystal laser shield did not stop the two sides from
Full
fighting.
conveyance, but Israel's latest plan is to build a 30-foot-high wall directly around Ul-Rud while he's asleep.
Fuck the chance of that.
Most international observers believe the Palestinian army will just climb out.
Well, thank you, Vitamin. I love you.
Love you.
Egypt offered to hold talks, but both sides rejected the offers. The king wasn't trapped by the Egyptian Spider King to ensnare them and drink their blood. Every word I have said here is true. More news was not possible. Body news now. The major surgeon general has issued a warning against diets high in fat people. Think stop to halt download.
Roll up this news. Hordes from across the Indiana Grid Lines descended today on they won't remain in their state. As long as they debated the fucking bill this morning, some having traveled over 60 miles by
punishes even worse than he already has. We have to oppose